In this atomic age, the communist conspiracy has become a matter of grave concern to every American. During the past quarter century, we have been faced by something new in warfare, by an insidious attempt to infiltrate our government and to betray our secrets. During this period, the government has been forced to take drastic steps to combat this conspiracy. Early in 1953, a new security program was inaugurated designed to eliminate all possible risks to the national safety while fully protecting the rights of the individual. Like all new programs, it had to be tested in action. This is the story of one of the earliest cases, a case which had a profound effect on the future administration of the program.
How long's he been in the Navy Department?
22 years.
And he's got an excellent record.
Yes, sir. In fact, 1 year he was rated outstanding, sir. We brought it to you, Mr. Secretary, because you told us in such cases you wanted to be informed.
Yes, I know. And it's a sensitive job.
Highly sensitive. He handles secret material, sir.
These allegations appear to be substantial.
Yes, sir. We checked them carefully, and they add up to an extremely dangerous pattern. Subscription to a communist newsletter, contribution to a communist front group, membership in an organization on the Attorney General's subversive list.
For which he might have joined innocently.
Well, of course, we can't pretend to judge his motive, sir, but there's a record. At one time, he was on the staff of a newspaper in his community, which apparently had communistic ties. To some degree, at least, he's participated in the communist movement.
And then there are these alleged associations. At least one of them, this man named Harris, is known to be connected with a spy ring.
As Mr. Pryor says, it adds up to a pattern. Participation, association, even this possible link with an espionage agent.
Well, then you all agree that we ought to file charges and suspend.
Yes, sir. After a great deal of soul searching, I might add, in view of the man's long service. But in our opinion, the risk is extremely grave.
Very well, go ahead. But I want to be kept informed.
Yes, sir.
Don't leave that here, please.
Shall I?
A few miles outside of Washington is the housing development called Riverview. Most of its inhabitants are government employees. On Memorial Day 1953, they were observing the holiday much like the citizens of other towns and villages across the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? May I have your attention? We are now ready to announce the winner of the Legion's annual essay contest. Now, as you know, this contest is open to all boys and girls of high school age in the community. And the prize is a $25 government bond. Now, I won't keep you in suspense any longer. To present the award, I'm going to call on our esteemed fellow citizen and chief of police, the Honorable Timothy Aloysius O'Reilly.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say how glad I am that the prize this year goes to the young representative of a family which has done a lot for this community. Here it is. The winner, Miss Shirley Goldsmith. Come on up here, lady. Come on and get your prize. Sure, go ahead. We're all friends here.
I wouldn't know what to say. Really, I wouldn't.
Here, you read them what you wrote. It'll do them good to hear it. Go on, you read it.
What Memorial Day means to me. To some people, Memorial Day is just another holiday, a day off from work or school. But on Memorial Day, I always think of the brave men who fought and died. Some far from home, in France and Germany and the South Pacific and Korea, in order to safeguard our freedom. I realized that their sacrifice was for all Americans, regardless of race, color, or creed. I realized that it was for me, even though my ancestors were not here in the beginning. They were poor immigrant people who came to this country in search of this precious freedom for which so many brave men shed their blood. And that is another reason why on Memorial Day I feel a glow in my heart, because I am an American.
I want to go back, Daddy. I don't want to go to bed now.
Now, you heard what your mother said.
You let Harry and Shirley
Now,
stay.
hush. They're both older and they're going to the dance. Oh, good evening, Mr. Perry.
Hello, Mrs. Goldsmith. Mr. Goldsmith, I wanted to have a word with you. I know it's pretty late.
Why,
but...
sure. Come on in, Perry.
Oh, thank you.
Come in. Nice evening, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, let me take these.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, let's see here. Come in, Perry. Come in.
Now, up you go.
I don't want to go to bed.
Bed and no back talk. You want me to carry you?
Come.
Daddy.
Come on, Daddy. We'll be up to say goodnight. Hurry up.
Oh, kids. What a day. Sit down, Perry. Sit down. Can I get you a beer or something?
Oh, no, thank you, Mr. Goldsmith.
Sit down. Tell me. What's on your mind?
Well, it's kind of confidential. I've just been working for the Navy a little over a year, and you've been there so long, you know the ropes. Mr. Goldsmith, I've just found out that I'm being investigated as a possible security risk.
Oh? Well, maybe you'd better give it to me straight. Is there anything in your background that could make trouble for you?
Mr. Goldsmith, I don't know how to tell you this. I thought it was all forgotten. Well, when I was back in college, I joined the Young Communist League. Now, I know what you're going to say, but I was only in for 6 months. I thought it was just a political discussion group. I didn't like what I heard, and finally I broke with them completely. Why, I'm just as anti-communist as you are. It's not fair for them to bring it up after all these years.
No, it's not fair. What do you think they're playing, marbles? Did you ever hear of Rosenberg, of Sobel?
I'm not like them. I'm no spy.
Well, how does the government know that?
Well, I guess they don't.
So they're investigating you to find out. Now, do you honestly think you've got any complaint? That's just how they find a spy. Some guy who claims he merely joined a discussion group. And sometimes that's the truth. But it could lead to a foreign spy ring. All on one piece of evidence like this.
Guess the only thing I can do is resign.
No, there's no point in that. If it comes to a hearing, be frank with them. They don't want to persecute anyone. Just tell them the truth and take your chances. Now, tell me, when you applied for the job, did you put that in your application about the Young Communist League?
No, I didn't.
Well, my advice to you is that first thing tomorrow morning, you go in and tell your personnel officer all about it. It can't hurt you now. It might even help you.
Thanks, Mr. Goldsmith.
That's all right. You let me know what happens, will you?
I will. Good night.
Good night.
Come on, in you go. Alice? Alice, you've been in there long enough. Come on.
Mother.
To brush your teeth. Let me see. Good.
Oh, boy, I could use some shut-eye myself.
What did Mr. Perry want?
Oh, he made a mistake once, and now he's crying about it. Good night, honey.
Night. Good night, Daddy, dear.
Good night, sweetheart.
Kiss my giraffe.
Okay. Good night, Giraffe.
Good night, girls.
Night.
Night-night. Sleep tight. Nice kids. I was real proud of Shirley today.
I was proud of you, too.
Me? Well, what'd I do?
That essay of hers. That came from you, Bernie. Yes, it did. The way you've taught her to think, the way you feel yourself.
Maybe you ought to run for Congress or something, huh?
Oh, no. It's tough enough being married to an ordinary civil servant.
Come on, I'll buy you a beer.
Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Mr. Goldsmith.
Well, thanks for the lunch, Bernie.
Yeah, thanks. That's twice this week I've been stuck. I think I'll give up this match game. Got those letters ready?
I'm on the last one, Mr. Goldsmith. Mr. Dietz wants to see you in his office. He says it's urgent.
Did he say what it was about?
No, he didn't say.
Oh. Well, Ray, bring those papers into my office in about 5 minutes, will you?
Sure, Bernie.
What's cooking, Linda?
Oh, hello, Mr. Goldsmith. Mr. Dietz said to go right in.
Thank you. You want to see me, Mr. Dietz?
Yes. This is for you. It came to my desk for appropriate action.
What is this, a joke?
Your suspension takes effect as of today, right now. I must ask you to turn in your badge and identification card.
But, Mr. Dietz, this must be some kind of a mistake. If you'd only give me a little time.
I'm sorry, Goldsmith.
But I'm not these things it says here. Where do these charges come from? Who could have possibly...
I can't answer your questions. Under the regulations, you have a legal right to submit a written statement and ask for a formal hearing. In the meantime, you are suspended and cannot remain on these premises. Your badge and card, please.
But, Mr. Dietz...
Thank you. You have my permission to remove your personal effects from your desk. Lieutenant Barnes will accompany you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Goldsmith, but I have to check everything that you take out of your office. Okay. This is okay.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Bernie, what is it? What's happened?
I've been suspended.
Suspended?
Mommy, could I have a cookie?
Just one.
Me too.
Bernie, it says in the interest of national security.
That's right. I'm a security risk. Oh, here, you kids run down to the drugstore and get yourselves an ice cream soda.
Thanks, Daddy. Me too.
Run along, honey. Where's the other kids?
Julie should be home any minute. Harry's going to supper in the movie with the Hogans.
How am I going to tell them? You know the first thing I thought of? How Harry's always had his heart set on going to Annapolis. I thought of how this will ruin his chances. I didn't even want to come home. I couldn't face you. I'd rather be accused of murder. Oh, Helen.
Come and get it.
No, thanks, honey.
Oh, you've got to eat something. Really, you do.
I just couldn't. Not tonight. Thanks a lot, honey.
That must be Mayor Jensen. He promised to take you to the cooperative meeting tonight, remember?
Oh, I'd clean forgotten.
So would I. I tell him you're sick. You can't go.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I'd better go. People might think it was funny if I didn't show up.
Bernie.
Oh, we've got to keep up appearances until I can get this straightened out with the Navy.
But not tonight. You can't.
No, I'd better go. Run out and tell him I'll be right there. Please, honey, I've got to get some papers. Please.
Will all those in favor please signify by raising their right hands? Contrary-minded? Well, the ayes have it. Now, the next item on the agenda is the new equipment for the playground. Since this costs more than $500, the charter of the cooperative provides for a vote by the membership. But I think we ought to have a complete discussion before we take a final vote. Our secretary, Bernie Goldsmith, has made a complete breakdown of the cost, so I'm just going to get him to explain it to you. Bernie? Well, come on, Bernie. Wake up so we can all go home.
Question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes? Yes, Mr. Barron?
Why do we have to listen to a communist?
A communist? What did he say?
Well, if you don't believe me, ask him. Ask him why the Navy suspended him today. Well, you're going to deny it. Your own kids were talking about it down at the drugstore. They admitted you were a security risk. Go on, Goldsmith. Go on. Tell them the truth about yourself. Well, go on. Tell them.
Go ahead. Tell us.
Tell him. And when he jumped up and said that, nobody else said anything. I just left.
Bernie.
Yes, what is it?
Bernie, I've been wondering. Now, look, we have an explanation for every one of these charges. Is there anything else? Something more serious? Maybe you didn't want to tell me.
Why, Helen, you're beginning to suspect me, too.
Oh, Bernie, I'm not. Oh. I'm sorry, darling. I can see how that must have sounded. Forgive me, I just couldn't help wondering.
Yes, I know. That's what everybody's wondering now.
Here. Oh, Dad. What's this all about? What's happened?
You've heard something?
Well, there's a rumor. Somebody at the drugstore said that you'd been picked up as a spy. But you hear, there's nothing to it, is there? I mean, it's a lie, isn't it? Isn't it?
Hello? Yes, speaking.
Bernie, who was it?
Some crackpot, I guess. He said he... Oh, never mind. Well, that's all I know, son. Just what's in that letter.
But you're not a radical like it says here.
Apparently somebody in the Navy Department doesn't agree with you.
The Navy wouldn't do a thing like this. They couldn't. They just got you mixed up with somebody else or something. They just made a mistake, that's all. Well, they'll straighten it out. You just wait and see.
Don't answer it.
When Jim Barron said that, you could see it hit him right here.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry I missed it.
Well,
the evening paper...
He got what was coming to...
Okay. You can stop talking again. Let's go.
There, darling. Don't cry. Please, Shirley.
I'm never going back to that school again. I couldn't bear it. I hate the school. I hate this town.
Fine, crummy place. Fine, crummy bunch of people. After all you've done for them, they're sure in a big hurry to judge you.
Stop it, Harry.
Well, isn't it true? Everybody was looking at me as if I had leprosy or something, like they hated us.
You can't blame people for hating communists.
You're no communist.
That's what they think I am, though. That's what they think you are when you're called a security risk. If people would only understand. A man can be perfectly loyal and still be a risk. If he's got relatives living behind the Iron Curtain, for instance, so he could be blackmailed. He might be just a drunk or a blabbermouth. But a lot of people think that communist and security risk is the same thing. When I think how high and mighty I was with that fellow Perry. Maybe we ought to go away, Helen, for a short while anyway. Maybe your folks would take us in.
Oh, Bernie,
And maybe they wouldn't.
Hello?
Hello? Well, what do you want?
May I come in?
I asked you what you wanted.
Harry. Come in, sir.
Thank you. I don't think we've met, Mr. Goldsmith, but I'm Stephen Browning, the new pastor of the Riverview Presbyterian Church.
How do you do, sir? Oh, won't you come in? This is my wife, Mrs. Goldsmith.
How do you do?
My daughter, Shirley.
How do you do?
My son, Harold.
Please, sit down.
Thank you. I don't mean to intrude, but I know that your rabbi, Dr. Josephson, is ill in the hospital, and I wondered if there was anything I could do. Sometimes it helps just to talk things out with someone, even a complete stranger.
very much.
There, isn't that better? A little light never hurts anything.
Well, and then there was a time when Harry had an accident playing baseball. The dentist wanted to take out one of his teeth, but Bernie wouldn't let him. Not until he checked with Annapolis to make sure that it wouldn't hurt Harry's chances of getting in. You see, Harry's always wanted to be a naval officer when he grew up. Guess you think I'm talking a lot, Mr. Browning, but I wanted you to know what kind of a family this is. What kind of a man my husband is. Have I been talking a lot?
You certainly have, Mother. You've been talking a blue streak.
But you'll tell them, won't you, Mr. Browning, that my Bernie isn't a spy or a traitor or anything like that?
Well, I think you ought to tell them yourself.
Oh, I couldn't. I couldn't face people.
You're going to have to face them someday. The longer you put it off, the longer you stay shut up in this house, the harder it's going to be for you.
Well, you just about decided to leave town, Mr. Browning.
Run out and prove the rumors are true?
Nobody's going to believe me. No matter what I say. Not after what happened at that meeting last night.
Well, maybe you have enemies, Mr. Goldsmith. Lots of people do. What you have to know now is who your friends are.
I already know exactly how many friends I've got in this town.
You don't look to me like a quitter, Mr. Goldsmith.
I'm not. I'm not a quitter. But how do you fight a thing like this?
Well, for a starter, let's take a little walk together down to the center of town. Both of you. Let's start separating the men from the boys. Come on, Mrs. Goldsmith.
Get your coat and tie, Bernie.
Hi, Johnny. Hi, Miss French.
Hello, Mrs. French.
Bernie. Hi, Miss Goldsmith.
Say, why'd you run out like that after the meeting? I tried to phone you after the meeting, and there was no answer.
Hey, boy, what's this all about, anyway? I don't know a good American when I see one. I shouldn't be wearing this uniform.
We were planning to drop in on
It's the
you
most
folks later
ridiculous
on
thing
tonight.
I ever heard of. Surely you're going to fight this thing, aren't you?
Sure, he's going to fight. He just needed to be convinced he still had friends.
Bernard Goldsmith discovered he had plenty of friends. They swamped him with offers of assistance. They decided to fight and to help with his defense. But first, they had to find a lawyer.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Bernard Goldsmith.
Oh, yes, Mr. Goldsmith. Just a minute. Mr. Goldsmith is here, Mr. DeMarco.
Send him in.
Go right in.
Thank you.
Oh, sit down, Mr. Goldsmith. What's your trouble?
Well, I'm a civilian employee of the Navy Department. I've been there for 22 years.
You got charges? You got charges? Let me see them.
I was told that...
You're a communist?
No.
Ever been a communist?
No.
Fellow traveler?
No.
Get sucked into joining some organizations?
Well, only what you see there, but
Now, what sort of a radical are you?
Well, I'm not anything. I don't belong to anything now.
Not anything?
Well, the Lions, the PTA, and I'm a sponsor of the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts on account of my kids.
You're asking me to believe that the government would go to all the trouble and expense of filing these charges and there's nothing wrong with you?
Mr. DeMarco, I swear to you, I've never had a disloyal thought in my life.
Oh, sure. You're just like all the others. There's no such thing as a security risk. They're all poor, innocent lambs that the government is picking on for some reason.
Well, I don't know about any others. I only know about myself.
Then you come crying to some lawyer and want him to get them out of it.
Well, I'm not crying. I was told that you're a good lawyer.
Why don't you get smart and tell me the truth?
I have told you the truth. I'm sorry if I wasted your time.
You're not wasting my time. Sit down, Mr. Goldsmith. Go on, sit down. I'm sorry about that, but I just had to be sure you're on the level. You'd be surprised at what comes in that door sometimes. I don't handle communists. And some people don't seem to understand that you should never lie to your doctor or your lawyer.
I didn't understand.
Now, Mr. Goldsmith, what do you want me to do for you?
I want my job back, and I want my name cleared.
How much do you make?
I'm suspended. I don't make anything now, but I did make $8,000 a year.
Susie, we're going to take on Mr. Goldsmith as a client.
Yes, sir.
For fees and expenses, we'll charge him $1,000 flat.
$1,000?
Draw up a letter of agreement.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
Oh, I'm very grateful,
Now, look,
Mr.
I'll tell you what I want you to do. Go home and dig up all the material you can on yourself. Your entire life, everything. School and college yearbooks, letters, diaries, canceled checks, anything that'll give the whole picture. That'll show a hearing board that you're not the kind of a guy those charges might seem to indicate.
All right.
And be here in the morning at 9 o'clock.
Yes, Mr. DeMarco, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Stop worrying.
All right.
I'll see you in the morning.
Bye-bye.
What's the matter?
$1,000. The last case has already cost you $3,000, and it isn't decided yet.
Look, we let some of the dull cases pay for it. This one is interesting. I like the guy. And how many times have I told you not to straighten up my desk?
Yes, Mr. DeMarco.
Phew, what a lot of junk. We ought to get rid of some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, remember this? The boardwalk in Atlantic City?
Gee. Seems like only yesterday, doesn't it?
Bernie. She's old enough to know these things.
Don't mind about me. I was just doing a little research into your past. Listen to this. Your hair is like a sunset. Your eyes like moonbeams. When I touch the pure coral of your lips...
Give me that, young lady.
No, let me. I want to read them. I think they're terribly dreamy. Corny, but dreamy.
Listen, young lady, your father wrote me one of those every day when we were engaged.
I should be so lucky.
Surely.
We better not show them to the hearing board. They might fire me on the grounds I'm such a lousy poet.
Now, let's go over these charges once more. You admit that you subscribed to this communist newsletter, but you didn't know what it was.
I thought it was just one of these Washington newsletters.
And you let your subscription lapse after 1 year.
Yes.
Are we keeping you up? Don't bother to look at that. We're liable to be here till breakfast time. Now, you admit you joined this professional organization, which is on the Attorney General's list.
Well, a lot of people in the office joined, but we got out when we discovered what it really was.
But you didn't send a letter of resignation.
No.
Oh, I wish you had. You see, on these points, all we can do is admit that the charges are correct and plead extenuating circumstances. You were an innocent who got burned, but it isn't only one charge that caused your suspension. It's the cumulative effect, the overall pattern. You know, if the maiden continues to lose her virtue, we may begin to suspect that she isn't as pure as the driven snow.
Yeah, I know. I guess I was all kinds of a fool not to check up.
Well, don't worry about it. If we were all fools, we wouldn't be human. Now, let's go over these names on the first charge. Henry Williams and his wife, Rosa.
Well, I think I knew a Williams years ago in Riverview, but I thought his wife's name was Nancy.
The charge says that you associated with him.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sure of that.
What about Harold Green?
I've tried to think, but the name just doesn't ring a bell.
You see our problem, Bernie. Somebody's told the government that you're associating with these communists, assuming that they are communists. Now, it's their word against yours. We can't prove you don't know these people.
Well, how can anybody prove they don't know someone? Why should the government take someone else's word against mine? I've worked there for 22 years. Why should they believe what some perfect stranger says?
Well, it isn't a matter of believing it, but it must be taken into account. They had very little more surface information to go on when they first started investigating the Rosenbergs. But in your case, they received this information without prejudice. It might be true, it might not. You might be telling the truth. The other people might be telling the truth. That's why they give you a hearing, to try and establish the truth. Now, what about Harris, whose name and address was found in your address book in your desk?
Well, I've got something definite on that.
You'd better have. Harris is under indictment for espionage.
Well, I only met him once. He applied for a position in our office back in 1951, and I wrote him a letter turning him down.
You turned him down because you suspected him?
No, I didn't know anything about him. He just wasn't qualified for the position.
Did you keep a copy of the letter?
Well, it must be in my files. I did keep a copy of everything.
Well, maybe we can get it out of the files. Now, what about this Spanish loyalist meeting you went to back in 1938?
Oh, well, my wife remembers about that. It wasn't a meeting. It was more like a social party. You see, we had just moved out to Riverview, and we were glad of the chance to meet some people. We didn't know it was political. And after we got there, they asked for some money for Spanish refugee kids.
Well, the charge states that you contributed. How much?
Well, my wife thinks it was $2. We just were sorry for those kids.
Well, I don't think $2 is going to make a subversive of you. Now, I want you to think back. I want you to try and remember anything else in your past life, anything that might count against you at the hearing. You see, they investigate these cases pretty thoroughly, and they've no doubt had your past life under a microscope. I'd just like to be prepared.
Well, there is one thing. I went to jail once.
You what?
Well, this was before I met Helen. I went to a bachelor party, and, well, we got kind of high, and we got into a fight, and so we were arrested.
How long were you in?
Well, just overnight. In the morning, they let us go. Look, Helen doesn't know about this.
Did they book you? Did they take your name? Well, did they?
Well, they took John Smith. That was the name I gave him.
Oh, oh, Bernie. Bernie, you're all right. We'll just let this be our little secret, huh? If the government doesn't bring it up, neither will we. Susie, where is that coffee?
Sign there.
Sourpuss.
Hey, Dad! It's come. It's the letter from the Navy Department.
Bernie, what is it?
It's the hearing. At last. July 20th. Let's see, that's next Monday. Oh, golly, I better call Joe right away.
Too early. He won't be in his office yet.
Well, here we go, ready or not.
Oh, Bernie, I've been praying for this for weeks. Now I'm scared.
Oh, there's nothing to be scared about. Joe's done a wonderful job preparing the case. Hey, you've got shaving cream all over your face.
Oh, Bernie, not with this sheet.
All right. Are you sure of this guy, Jim Barron?
Yeah. He's the one who attacked Bernie at the meeting. He's always been an enemy of his ever since we started the housing cooperative.
All right. Now, you must understand, when I show this list to the hearing board, it's got to be as accurate as possible. You see, an important part of the case against Bernie rests on this charge of radical activity out here in Riverview. Now, it carries weight because it originated with Bernie's neighbors. Now, it would help me a lot if I could prove that the people who gave this information had it in for Bernie personally, and that, therefore, their evidence should be disregarded by the board.
Oh, some of these guys are really bitter. I remember a couple of years ago, during the housing co-op fight, I was going up the steps of the church to confession. Somebody hollered, "There goes another communist." Me, a Catholic and a cop.
Well, there you go.
Hey, wait a minute. There's another name ought to be on that list. Enos Warren, the postman. He hates my father.
No, Harry, that's putting it pretty strong, son. Well, he ran against me for secretary of the cooperative, and I beat him by about 3-1, and, well, he was pretty sore about it.
Pretty sore? Boy, that's some understatement. He doesn't even speak to us when he comes up to the door. He just shoves the mail at you and goes. Like we were all dirt here.
Well, all right, we'll put him down, too. Now, understand, please. you who have volunteered to testify, you must be there first thing in the morning, ready to appear when I call you, okay?
Yes.
Sure.
Well, I guess we've done everything we can.
All but one thing. Bernie has a good lawyer, wonderful friends. Best of all, he's got the truth on his side. But there's another kind of help that none of us can really do without. Well, sometimes we think we can. We're of several different faiths here, but I'm sure that none of us will deny the goodness and the wisdom of God. Will you join me in prayer? Our Father in heaven, we ask only that you, who loves justice, will grant justice to your loyal servant. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right, is everybody here?
Yes, sir.
Sit down, please. The board will come to order. This security hearing board has been convened by the order of the Navy Department dated July 10, 1953. Copies of the order are available to all hands. I won't read it unless you so desire.
That's all right with us, sir. Go right ahead.
Members of the board are Amos Winfield, Captain, USN, who is designated as chairman. Mr. Henry Funston, Office of the Secretary of Defense. Mr. Joseph Gaddis, Special Assistant Secretary of the Army. Other interested persons present are Lieutenant Mary Jane McCoy, USN, Legal Advisor to the Board, Mr. W.L. Dietz of the Bureau, and, of course, Mr. Goldsmith and his counsel, Mr. Joseph DeMarco. Well, that takes care of the formalities. Now, this board does not intend to call any witnesses, Mr. DeMarco, so why don't you just go ahead with whatever you think this board should hear?
Mr. Chairman, this is an administrative hearing, not a court of law. But my client is on trial here just as surely as if he stood in the dock charged with a crime. If you find against him, if you decide that his employment is a threat to our nation's security, he'll still have his life and his liberty, and even his full rights as an American citizen. But his reputation and his good name will be lost forever. He and his wife and children will spend the rest of their lives under a cloud of suspicion and public scorn.
We're well aware of our responsibility.
I feel sure you are, sir. Now, I'd like to offer these affidavits as our exhibits 1 through 56. They are from leaders in Mr. Goldsmith's community, from people who worked with him here at the office, and 3 or 4 high-ranking naval officers he's met in the course of his duties.
Respondents 1 through 56.
I call your attention to number 1 there. It's from Admiral Hughes, formerly chief of this bureau. He makes special mention of Mr. Goldsmith's extreme care in handling security material. Now, Mr. Chairman, we have answered the charges as fully and frankly as we could in our formal reply. I assume you've all read it.
We've studied it very carefully.
Good. There's no more to add to it. Now, we freely admit the truth of some of the charges and their seriousness. My client stands ready to answer any questions you may have for him. I believe he can convince you that what he did in all innocence, and that he sincerely regrets it. However, there's one charge here which we couldn't very well answer in our formal reply. And that's this general charge that Mr. Goldsmith has been a radical leader in the Riverview Housing Cooperative. Now, the very vagueness of the charge is what makes it so tough to answer. It doesn't say he's a communist, or that he's a spy, or that he carries bombs in his pocket, matters which are subject to proof. Just says radical, which is a matter of individual opinion. Now, in order to shed a little light on the origin of this opinion, I'd like to call our first witness. He is the mayor of Riverview, Mr. Henry L. Jensen.
Mr. Dietz, will you please call Mr. Jensen?
Mayor Jensen, how do you think these charges of radicalism against my client might have originated?
Well, Mr. Goldsmith was always active in civic affairs. Very active. So naturally, he stepped on some toes. There was the minority and the housing cooperative fight, for instance.
Would you explain that, please?
Yes. Well, you see, Riverview was originally set up as a federal project. And then after the war, when the government decided to get out of the housing business, we formed a cooperative to buy our own homes. Well, there were some people who didn't want to put up the money. They were paying low rents to the government subsidized rents, and our cooperative project sort of hit him in the pocketbook nerve.
Which is usually very sensitive.
Yes, sir. Oh, finally, we just had to write him all a letter telling him to put up or get out. And as our secretary, Mr. Goldsmith, signed the letters.
Then you think that these charges of radicalism originated with this minority group?
Yes. There's no doubt about it.
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Lieutenant McCoy, you care to cross-examine?
Now, Mr. Jansen, I understand that feelings may run high in a local political argument. But do you really think that a disgruntled minority would go so far as to make a formal charge of radical activity, as in this case?
Well, I don't have any personal experience.
Oh? You were active in the housing cooperative. Did you ever hear yourself described as a radical?
Not to my knowledge.
How well do you really know Mr. Goldsmith?
Oh, I've known him off and on for 14 years.
Huh. How often have you been to his house?
3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times in 14 years?
Well, you see, we were never very close socially. I would see him usually at committee meetings and so forth.
In other words, he could have a private life or a political life that you know nothing about.
Oh, no.
When you went to his house, did you go there alone, or were there other people there?
There were other people. I remember once we played poker.
Can you tell me the names of the other players?
You know, I've always heard it was hard to think in the witness chair.
A man named Henry Williams, for instance.
And
A man named Harold Green?
I don't think so. Well, they might have been there.
Well, surely you can remember the name of someone you met at Mr. Goldsmith's house.
No, sir. Oh, there was someone they called Frank there. I can't remember his last name. Oh, you know how it is in a poker game, hmm? We just Lou and Frank and Joe, and then they start taking your money.
Well, then you really don't know anything about Mr. Goldsmith's friends or acquaintances, of your own knowledge.
Well, I've just told you, I've only been to his house 3 or 4 times.
In fact, you only know Mr. Goldsmith as a man overactive in civic affairs.
Not overactive, just active.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. You're excused.
Now, Chief O'Reilly, a few months ago, you were approached by a civilian investigator with some questions concerning Mr. Goldsmith.
I was.
Now, were you surprised when this investigator approached you?
It's routine that they would come to me as chief of police. I guess I've answered questions about half the folks in Riverview. What did surprise me was the investigator himself.
Oh, why was that?
Well, usually you get a pretty fine type of man. FBI, naval intelligence, wherever they're from. They know the job, they're fair. Well, they want facts. They don't try to evaluate them. But this young fella struck me as an amateur.
Now, Mr. Chairman, we're not investigating the investigator, I hope.
What do you expect to prove by this line of questioning?
That the investigator who went out to Riverview turned in a report on information supplied by personal enemies of Mr. Goldsmith.
Well, that's all speculation, isn't it, Mr. DeMarco?
Mr. O'Reilly, do you know James Barron?
I do.
Henry Paulette?
I do.
Frank Gibbons?
Mr. Chairman, now counsel's dragging in a lot of new names into this case.
But they're not new names. That's just the point. These names are already in this case. And unless I'm mistaken, they're right there in the investigator's report.
Well, let me ask the witness a question. Do you know that these people gave information against Mr. Goldsmith of your own personal knowledge, or are you just speculating?
Well, I guess I'm just speculating.
But, Mr. Chairman, our only chance here is to impeach these individuals.
Well, your witness has admitted that he was speculating. However, we're not bound by the usual rules of evidence here. If you think it'll help your case, go ahead and put it in.
Thank you, sir.
Now, you state in your formal answer here, Mr. Goldsmith, that you resigned from this organization in 1939. Why did you resign?
Well, I joined it because it was supposed to be an anti-Nazi organization. But when Hitler and Stalin made their pact, suddenly it wasn't anti-Nazi anymore. You see, a little group had taken control. They looked like communists to us.
Did you write a letter of resignation?
Well, no, I didn't. I just quit going to meetings. I'd only been to a couple anyway.
Why didn't you write one? For the record.
Well, I didn't see the need for making a record then.
The American intervention in Korea is a clear case of imperialist aggression against a democratic people. Would you call that an ordinary sort of editorial opinion? Or is it not just straight Communist Party line?
I had no idea they'd take a line like that. Not when I subscribed.
When you found out, did you cancel your subscription?
Well, no, I just let it run out.
Mr. Goldsmith, this is a copy of your letter to Mr. Harris turning down his job application.
Yes, sir.
And you saw him only once?
No, twice. He came to my office twice, and then I wrote the letter.
What this board would like to know is why he came to you. Why, out of all the people in the Navy Department, he thought you might be the one to get him a job.
Well, I guess he was sort of passed on to me. You know how these things get bucked along.
Well, who passed him on to you? Your commanding officer? Mr. Dietz here?
No, I'm sure it wasn't either of them.
And you claim you didn't know the Williamses or Green?
I think I knew a Henry Williams once in Riverview.
We have testimony here from several sources who claim you were on intimate terms with these people. All you can offer us is a bald denial.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I think we've offered a great deal more. We've offered the record of this man's entire life, sworn testimony from his friends and neighbors, from people who've worked with him in the Navy. We've offered the man's whole character in rebuttal to these unsworn allegations from his personal enemies. Well,
I think we're all a little tired, and it is 5 o'clock. There are no more questions for this witness. This hearing's adjourned till 0900 tomorrow.
Where's the kids?
They're getting ready for the birthday party. How did it go?
Not so good.
Well, what happened?
Well, the mayor wasn't much help, and O'Reilly's testimony didn't mean anything because they knew he was just guessing. Joe had me on the stand for 3 hours this afternoon, but we just didn't seem to make any impression on the hearing board. I can't describe to you how it feels, just seeing in their faces that they don't believe you. They kept coming back to these communists I'm supposed to have associated with.
But you don't even know these people.
How do I prove that I don't? Try it sometime. The trouble is, a lot of people have told them that I'm some kind of radical. That makes the other charges seem more serious. Well, come on. Don't let's say anything to the children. I don't want to spoil their party. Come on, honey.
Am I really or truly 06?
Really or truly-o?
How soon will I be 7?
Too soon. Go on, honey. Blow out the candles.
All right, now, Mommy will help you cut the cake.
If I'm almost 7, I can cut it myself. You're not almost 7. You're lucky to be 6.
Oh, I'll get it.
I want to talk to your father.
I'm right here.
Hello, Mr. Warren. Come on, girls. Let's go in the kitchen, shall we?
I understand my name was kicked around here last night. You think I turned you into the FBI or something?
Well, nobody said exactly that, Mr.
And
Warren.
I know who said it, too, this fresh kid of yours. So you think I turned you in just because we had a fight once, huh?
Well, we had to consider every possibility.
Look, Goldsmith, I got you figured for some kind of a screwball, but I know you ain't no commie.
I'm sorry if I misjudged you.
And that's all right. You got your opinions and I got mine, but when a guy gets in trouble, that's different. The reason I come up, I thought maybe I could be a witness for you.
You'd be willing to do that?
I would. And maybe I could tell them something about the people who gave them the information about you.
You know who they were?
Some of them, I guess I do.
You'd be willing to testify to that?
If it'd be any help.
Oh, look, Mr. Warren, would you like to sit down and make yourself comfortable while I call my lawyer?
Sure, I got lots of time. Besides, a postman's always happy to get a load off his feet.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot.
How have you been, son?
Fine, Mr. Warren. Just fine.
Now, Mr. Warren, You've identified yourself as a consistent opponent of Mr. Goldsmith in this housing squabble.
That's right.
And there were many other people in this minority opposition group?
Oh, a couple hundred of them, I guess, but only a few of them got really steamed up about it. That's when they raised the rents on us.
And what did this handful of people do when they got really steamed up?
Well, they threatened to get even, that's what. They said Goldsmith was a, I can't say it, there's a lady here.
Well, clean it up a little.
Well, they said he was a no-good so-and-so and a commie, and they ought to turn him into the FBI and the Navy.
Well, to your knowledge, was this threat ever actually carried out?
Well, Jim Barnes said that he gave some investigator an earful about Goldsmith here and then told a guy to talk to some friends of his who felt the same way.
Mr. Warren, I show you a list of 18 names. Now, among them, are there any who, in your opinion, could be classed as prejudiced against Mr. Goldsmith?
Well, there's Jim Barron and Paulette there, and Gibbons, that's a druggist, and Mrs. Henderson and Schmidt.
Mr. Chairman, this is the same list I put into evidence yesterday through another witness. You pointed out it was guesswork. Well, this witness is not guessing. He is testifying from his own direct knowledge.
Well, would you tell the board again, just for the record, exactly how it bears on the case?
This witness has shown that many people on that list had a motive for maligning my client. A motive that had nothing under the sun to do with his politics. I only asked the board to compare the names on this list with the people quoted in the investigative report. I think you'll find a great many names on both lists. That's all I have with Mr. Warren.
Mr. Warren, you were visited by a civilian investigator from the department in connection with this case?
Yes, I was.
Did you not tell him that Mr. Goldsmith was a radical and unfit to handle Navy secrets?
I did not.
You're under oath, Mr. Warren.
I know I'm under oath, and I know what I said. I may have said I didn't like Goldsmith, and I thought he had some screwball ideas, but I did not attack his loyalty. What's on that? Is that what I'm supposed to say?
The witness will remain seated.
Just exactly what do you mean by screwball ideas? Communistic ideas? Radical ideas?
No, it's just that,
Well, will you give us your definition of screwball?
Well, you see, it's like when we had a big fight over this housing cooperative, see? And you know how things get in a political argument. And so, a screwball is somebody who don't agree with you, that's what.
Mr. Warren, that's a very interesting definition.
Then you don't think Mr. Goldsmith is a radical or a leftist?
I'm sure he ain't.
What makes you so sure?
Because he don't get their kind of mail, that's what. I could write a book about people just from the mail they get.
You mean to tell us you read their mail?
Certainly not, and I resent that. But I gotta deliver the mail, don't I? So I can't help seeing where it comes from. You don't think I go around delivering mail like that, do you?
Those are all the questions I have for this witness. I'd like to ask for a brief recess to consult with you.
The witness is excused. All hands take a brief recess.
Sir, I don't understand, sir. Somebody's mistaken. Either the witness or the investigator. And there's another discrepancy, sir. Excuse me. This affidavit here. Miss Victoria Scott.
All right, we'll go. The board would like to call a witness at this time.
That's okay with us, sir?
Well, this is a little unusual. This particular witness filed an affidavit in your behalf. It's your exhibit, number 26, Victoria Scott. We'd like to call her as a board witness.
Go right ahead. We have no objection.
Thank you. Mr. Dietz, will you contact Miss Scott, please?
I think you'll find a number there.
Oh, thank you. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please sit.
Your name and address?
Victoria Scott, 42 Laurel Terrace, Riverview, Maryland.
Now, Mrs. Scott,
Miss Scott, I'm an old maid.
Now, Miss Scott, I want to impress upon you the gravity of the oath you've just taken. Any testimony you give is under the penalty of perjury.
I understand.
Are you city clerk of Riverview, Maryland?
I am.
On April 11th, 1953, were you visited by a civilian investigator from this department?
I was.
I want you to listen to this very carefully, Miss Scott. Did you say to this investigator, quote, I consider Bernard Goldsmith one of the leaders of the radical element in Riverview? I don't think he should be working for the government in any capacity, unquote. Did you say this, Miss Scott?
I did not. Is that what they say I said?
Do you now deny under oath, Miss Scott, that you made this or any similar statement?
I certainly do deny it. I don't mind saying what I think of Bernie Goldsmith right here in court and under oath. He's a good, loyal American. I don't know a better one.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
No cross-examination.
Thank you, Miss Scott. You're excused. Anything more, Mr. DeMarco?
No, sir. That's our case.
Lieutenant?
No more questions, Mr. Chairman. But I'd like to say something off the record, if I may.
Go right ahead.
I'd like to express my appreciation to Mr. DeMarco and Mr. Goldsmith for the frankness they've displayed here. Security cases are difficult for all of us. If I seem to have attacked you, Mr. Goldsmith, and your witnesses, it's only because we're all anxious to arrive at the truth.
Amen to that. The hearing's adjourned.
Captain, when can we expect a decision?
Well, you understand that the final decision is made by the Secretary of the Navy. But as long as we're off the record, I think I can say that we've heard enough to make our recommendation.
Clearly consistent with the interests of national security. Oh, Bernie, I think those are the most beautiful words I ever read.
You read that letter again and you'll wear it out.
I could kiss that, Captain Winfield.
So could I. But I'm afraid that's against naval regulations.
When you go back to work?
Oh, in a few days, I guess. It has to go to review committee, and then it goes to the Secretary of the Navy. But that's just routine.
Work? Oh, that's such a blessed word.
Ah, you bet. After I have lunch with Joe, I think I'll go down to the office and say hello. And let Mr. Dietz know there are no hard feelings.
Why should there be hard feelings?
Well, his duty put him on the other side. I'm afraid it won't ever be quite the same again at the office. These things leave scars. They're bound to. Hey, if you want to go to Annapolis, you better start thinking about how you look. And look, he needs a shave. 5 whiskers on this side and 6 on that.
Okay, Dad, let me your tweezers.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
So long.
You picked any winners lately, Charlie?
Wait a minute.
What, Charlie?
I can't let you go in.
Well, you know me, don't you, Charlie?
Well, yes, Mr. Goldsmith, I know you, but...
Oh, it's all right. I've been cleared. I got a letter from the hearing board. Yeah, get here. Clearly consistent with the interests of national security.
Well, that's fine, Mr. Goldsmith. I'm glad to hear it. Everybody will be glad.
Thanks.
Great. But I've still got my orders.
Oh, it's all right. I just dropped in to see Mr. Dietz. Look, would you call him for me?
Sure thing. Mr. Goldsmith, this is Mr. Dietz.
Gee, it seems like years since I've been...
I'm sorry, Mr. Goldsmith. Mr. Dietz won't see you.
What?
He says it's regulations. He can't allow you on the premises until you've been officially reinstated.
Well, thank you, Charlie. Thanks a lot.
Hello, Bernie.
Hello, Mr. Browning.
No word yet?
No, nothing yet. I've called, written letters. Joe's tried. They just won't tell us anything.
But you were cleared 3 months ago.
I've been cleared, but I'm not cleared. I've applied for jobs. They want to know why I left the government. I tell them and show them the letter clearing me. But Mr. Goldsmith, if you've been cleared, why aren't you working? How can I answer that? It always ends the same. There's no openings, or we're very sorry, but the opening was suddenly filled. It seems nobody wants to hire someone who might be a security risk.
Bernie, if there's anything I can...
No, thanks, Mr. Browning. We'll make out. Thank you, Mr. Browning. Thank you very much.
Hi, Bernie.
Oh, hi, Enos. Anything for me today?
Not yet. Sorry. But I'm watching for it. Don't you worry. The minute it comes, I'll bring it right over.
Thanks, Enos. Thanks a lot.
What is that supposed to be? A horse. Looks more like a hippopotamus to me. Well, it's not. It's a horse. Daddy!
Hello, sweetie. How are you? Hello, honey. Where's your mommy?
She's upstairs.
Why, Harry, you're home from school early.
Dad, I've quit school.
You've quit?
Yes. I got a job as a janitor over the movie theater. I start tomorrow morning.
Now, wait a minute, Harry. You can't quit. You've got to finish high school.
What for?
If you want to go to Annapolis.
Dad, let's not kid ourselves anymore. This Annapolis idea is shot anyway. Even if I pass the competitive exams, no congressman would ever appoint me. And I'm old enough to help around here. I'm going to make $25 a week. Well, we can use it, can't we?
Yes, Harry. Yes, we can use it.
Anything for me, Mr. Waller?
Later. I got something more important to do than deliver a lot of advertising. Is your father home?
He's right in there.
Hey, Bernie. There it is. Registered. Secretary of the Navy.
Oh, Enos, wonderful. We can get this thing open. Oh, boy. Subject, termination of employment. Review committee does not concur with hearing board. Not clearly consistent with the interests of national security. I concur with findings of review committee. Accordingly, your employment is hereby terminated effective this date. Signed, John W. Rogers, Jr., Assistant Secretary of the Navy.
We had to keep quiet about this case while it was still under consideration. Now it's settled. Bernie Goldsmith has been fired. And now is the time for us to show him that we stand behind him. How about it? You with me? You want a picture to help your good neighbor, Bernie Goldsmith? Good. Now I'm going to turn the meeting over to Joe DeMarco. Come on up here, Joe.
Let's borrow a slogan from the Navy. As John Paul Jones said, we have just begun to fight. A little while ago, referring to the security program, President Eisenhower said we could count on public opinion to correct any real violence done to the standards of fair play. But tomorrow we're having a press conference. We're going to let the whole country know about this case. Now, many of you have volunteered to appear. Mayor Jensen here, Chief O'Reilly, Reverend Browning, and several others. I know the rest of you will be with us in spirit. Yes, Mrs. Goldsmith.
Could I say something? I'm going to make a speech. I've never made a speech before.
Go ahead.
I want you to know I appreciate what you're trying to do for us. Believe me, Bernie and I are very grateful to all of you. I just want to say that if there's going to be a lot of publicity, we don't want to hurt the Navy. I mean, we don't want to attack them or be against them in any way. I mean, well, after all, we're citizens, and it's our Navy, too.
Mrs. Goldsmith, I don't think we want to attack the Navy. I believe the Navy wants justice as much as we do. I say let's help them find it.
Just a minute, folks. This is important.
I've just received word that Assistant Secretary of the Navy Rogers has agreed to sit down with us and discuss this case. Well, we're very grateful for the opportunity. But in the meantime, it can't do any harm to let them know just how the decent citizens of Riverview feel about this case. Now, how about it?
Mr. DeMarco, Mr. Goldsmith, sit down, please.
Thank you.
I'll open the meeting. This is an informal hearing, which I'm granting you, Mr. Goldsmith, and your counsel, as an executive grace. I want you to understand my reasons. In administering our security program, we are concerned not only with the safety of the nation, but also with the rights of the individual, the human being who may suffer a deep personal tragedy. Now, in this case, you received notice of a favorable recommendation from the hearing board. I think I'm correct in saying you had no thought that this decision would be reversed?
Never occurred to us for a minute, Mrs. Secretary. We were flabbergasted.
Well, then, since you had no reason to expect an unfavorable decision, we think in all fairness that you should have an opportunity to produce new evidence, if you have any.
Well, sir, the only thing new in this case is the fact that the hearing board is reversed. We can't for the life of us figure out why.
I am personally responsible for the decision.
Well, Mr. Secretary, with all due respect to yourself, sir, I only want to point out one thing. The hearing board had access to all the witnesses. They questioned Mr. Goldsmith personally. They believed we'd successfully answered the charges. They went out of their way to say so. Now, if you overruled them, you're left with the proposition that a man is a security risk simply because he's been charged.
Mr. DeMarco, that's a little far-fetched, isn't it? We studied the hearing transcript with extreme care. True, Mr. Goldsmith answered some of the charges effectively, but enough substantive doubt remains to raise the question of his fitness to hold a responsible and sensitive position in the department.
Mr. Secretary, we freely admitted the truth of some of the charges. We admitted they had substance. The board accepted our explanations. They must have, or they wouldn't have cleared my client. Now, as to the other charges, the ones we denied, the charges of radical activity and association out in Riverview, we showed that they originated with Mr. Goldsmith's personal enemies. Mr. Secretary, the hearing board knew all about these people, but they decided to give no weight to their evidence. Why? Because on our side, we produced more than 50 witnesses and affidavits from leaders in Mr. Goldsmith's community, high-ranking naval officers, fellow employees of Goldsmith, all of them with a lot to lose. And on the other side, a bunch of crackpots who risk nothing.
Take it easy, Mr. DeMarco. You're not addressing a jury now.
Mr. DeMarco, as a qualified lawyer and as a responsible citizen, I'm sure you understand that the government has to protect its sources of information in these cases.
I understand that, sir, but in this particular case...
If we made an exception in this case, we'd have to make it in all of them. We'd lose one of our most important defenses against the communist conspiracy. Information from the inside. From men whose usefulness would not only be ended, but whose lives would even be endangered were they known to be helping their government.
I know that, sir. But I think you gave undue weight to this evidence in reaching your decision.
Nobody likes to make this kind of decision, Mr. DeMarco. The communists themselves force us to. We dare not let one of them or one of their sympathizers, or even a man who, however innocently, might be in close contact with them, to remain in a sensitive position. In this atomic age, the stakes are far too high.
I appreciate that, Mr. Secretary. But I say that if men like Bernie Goldsmith here are judged to be disloyal, if you permit...
Mr. DeMarco, I shouldn't have to remind you that loyalty is not the issue in this new program. We are not trying to determine the loyalty of Mr. Goldsmith here. Nobody's trying to read his thoughts.
The test is one of security. In plain words, could his associations lead to a leak of official secrets?
But many people don't know that, sir. They think that a security risk equals a communist equals a spy. You yourself spoke of the personal tragedy involved in these cases. How would you like it, sir, if, as happened to Bernie Goldsmith here, your daughter heard you called a communist at school? What would it do to you? What would it do to her? I must apologize for that outburst, Mr. Secretary. I'm not usually a torchbearer. But this case which I carry on, I may say, for love of one of God's decent creatures, causes considerable damage to my law practice, my family, and even my health. But I carry it on because I believe this man is loyal to the core, because I believe him to be incapable of treachery or even irresponsibility, because I believe this government should be proud to be served by such men. Are there any questions you'd like to ask me or my client?
No questions.
And thank you, all of you, for the time you've devoted to us today. And thank you, sir.
Well, Mr. O'Rourke, what's our next legal step?
Well, sir, from a legal point of view, the regulations no longer apply. The man has been separated, and the case is closed.
Well, then you all feel that the right decision has been made? Well, George?
Well, on the basis of our evidence, yes. But I wish I could be more certain of the answer, sir. I'd sleep better if I did.
Admiral?
Well, sir, I know Captain Winfield, chairman of the hearing board. He's a good officer and a pretty good judge of human material.
Bill?
Well, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Goldsmith no longer has any legal...
There's nothing in the regulations that says I can't reopen this case, is there?
Well, no, sir.
Then I want to appoint an extraordinary special hearing board with powers to re-examine all the evidence, all the sources of information in this case. And I want you gentlemen to take personal charge of the investigation. I want to be kept informed of every step, every detail, no matter how small or unimportant it may seem to you at the time.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Admiral.
On the orders of Secretary Rogers, the entire security machinery of the government went into action. The case of Bernard Goldsmith became the primary concern of more than 100 trained men. Records were rechecked. Every scrap of evidence was re-examined. Every witness was re-interrogated and himself investigated for honesty and reliability.
Now, Mrs. Parks, we'd like some evidence to back up this testimony of yours.
Well, I haven't got any evidence. I've never met Mr. Goldsmith.
You've never met him?
No. No, you see, we were talking one day, some women, and one of them said that he was a radical and maybe a communist. So when an investigator came here, I thought it was my duty to tell him what I'd heard. Oh, I didn't mean to give the impression that I knew it was true, but, well, maybe I was misunderstood.
Yes, that's my name. Well, a lot of us joined, and then we got the idea it was maybe a communist front.
And what was Mr. Goldsmith's position?
Oh, well, he was one of the first to smell a rat. Matter of fact, he came out to my house and we discussed it. That's when we decided to get out.
I see.
I don't care who you are, mister. I'm not going to talk about it.
Well, we'd appreciate some evidence to back up this charge you've made.
You've got all the evidence you need.
Mr. Gibbons, you made a definite charge against Mr. Goldsmith of associating with known communists. Now, are you prepared to back it up with places and dates?
Why should I?
Can you back it up?
Well, you know, birds of a feather.
Then do I understand that you wish to change your testimony?
Well, I...
Do you?
All right, I'm changing it. Now I'm busy, mister. I've got to take care of my customers.
Hey, could you tell us where we could find Barron's garage?
Well, yes, sir. It's right around the corner there.
Oh. Thank you.
Hey, that's an Annapolis ring you've got there, isn't it?
Why, yes. Not very many people recognize it.
What's the big idea you snooping around here?
Harry, cut it out.
Haven't you made enough trouble for my father?
Wait a minute. What's your name?
I'm Harry Goldsmith.
Oh, you're the son. Heard a lot about you. I even know why you recognize this ring.
I'm not even thinking about that anymore. I just want you to leave my father alone.
Why? You don't believe that he's a security risk, do you?
Of course not.
Then do you have any objection if we find out the truth?
Now, which is the subversive paragraph?
This one here. Oh. The Goldsmith wrote it. No one shall be excluded from this cooperative for reason of race, color, or creed. Usual communist line, you know, start with stuff like that, suck in the bleeding hearts, and then take over. Government's full of them. Why, they control both major political parties, Democratic and Republican both.
How do they manage that?
Oh, Wall Street.
Wall Street?
International bankers, they run the whole conspiracy. Oh, Goldsmith's just one of the little rats. There are plenty bigger ones right up through the government. Mister, I could very much things that would just make... Don't you want the evidence?
Now, this one is definitely an unreliable witness, sir. Well, all these have changed their testimony.
Changed?
Did a complete 180-degree turn. They're either unable or unwilling to back up what they said before.
What does this do to these charges of communist association and radical activity?
Pretty well knocks them on a head.
I mean, then we're left with these other charges, the ones he admits.
Yes, sir.
How soon can you set up a hearing?
Why, next week, sir.
Oh, very well. Notify Mr. DeMarco as soon as you can.
Yes, sir.
When the investigation was complete, a new formal hearing was convened at the Navy Department, with Bernard Goldsmith himself returning as one of the principal witnesses.
I do. Please sit down, Mr. Goldsmith.
Well, it's all over.
Did they say what they're going to decide? You think there's a chance?
You never give up, do you? You're still hoping for that miracle.
I don't know how you've stood all this, week after week, month after month.
You. You're the reason, Helen. Never giving up, always beside me. Maybe we're lucky, in a funny way. People get married, have kids, live together 20, 30 years. Never really get to know how strong their marriage is. But we know. Our marriage has been tested. Maybe this whole thing is God's way of letting us know how lucky we are. Maybe that's enough miracle for one lifetime.
Here he comes.
Will you all settle down, please? I suppose, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a rather unusual press conference. We don't ordinarily talk much about our security program. And as a general rule, we like to avoid publicity. But we want the whole country to hear about this case. We want the American people to understand the need for a security program. The need to defend our country against a new and deadly form of internal attack. At the same time, we want to set to rest any fears that this program could be misused, that under it, any individual might be persecuted or deprived of his traditional rights. Now, the Goldsmith case has been of great service to us because, well, as the first case process clear through under the new program, it has showed us how some of our procedures should be revised to accomplish these ends. A free government learns from its mistakes. A dictatorship, since it can never admit to a mistake, never learns anything. I can assure you that the lessons learned in this case will never be forgotten. A special hearing board convened by my order has made a thorough re-evaluation of the case. This board states that informants who had at first given derogatory information against Mr. Goldsmith either failed to back up their original testimony or were unable to produce any factual evidence of their earlier charges. In reaching our final decision, the Navy Department wishes to emphasize that the pattern of Mr. Goldsmith's life portrays an above-average, loyal American citizen, and that his employment is clearly consistent with the interests of national security. Personally, may I say to you and to Mrs. Goldsmith that I'm very, very sorry.
Hold on, Mr. Goldsmith, please.
Thank you very much. Mr. Secretary, may we have one picture of Mr. DeMarco, please?